the microphones here a sec. Okay. Um, so I thought it might be fun to talk a little bit about some of the things that happen like on a university campus. And the same sort of stuff happens at any like large corporation or in the government. But my experience is with what happens on university campuses, and it's and I've had some interesting experiences. In this case, I'm going to talk about the tampon caper, the great tampon issue, and that was. Let me hide this real quickly. That was I started thinking about this lately when I've read a couple of a couple articles about this and about the universities and tampons, and I read stories about I think in Texas, in one state, they're starting to talk about giving tampons for free, like they give condoms on campus. And they've been talking about doing the same thing with, if they can give away condoms for free, why can't they give away, these goodies for free? I'm looking quickly for the stories so I could tell you what exact thing they came from. Come on, oh, here we go. Okay, and I've got I'm doing Periscope and this other thing at the same time. So, anyway, so tampons and what's happened lately, and it's come into the news lately. And there was I think a private prison in Texas that was wouldn't supply menstruation products to the females in the prison, and they would also dock or fine or whatever they do to the females who might have stains on their pants from not having hygiene products. So that's pretty weird, huh? Let me get this. So how do I get involved with tampons and hygiene products? Right? I'm some old dude, retired, and what do I know about it? Well, I was the facilities guy, the director of facilities in several of the schools on a university campus. And in that role, I was pretty much responsible for everything that happened, good or bad, in the building. Physical building itself. If you turn the building upside down and shake it, all the stuff that would fall out, that's all the stuff I was responsible for. The fixtures and just everything. If I did my job right, nobody knew I existed because they didn't have problems. So there's a couple of issues that were always kind of touchy, because the way it worked was as a person out in the school that ran the school, I'd contact the central facilities department and ask them to send the plumbers out or send the electricians out, whoever I needed to do a job. And we had these when the building, my capstone project was a big building, 6 stories, over 100,000 square feet. And when we built the building, they put in waterless urinals. Now, the building was one of the first gold LEED LED buildings in the county, and it was an impressive building for its time. And that LEED has to do with saving power and water and saving labor, and it's everything that makes the building green, all the way down to where the drywall on the walls comes from, because if it comes from Georgia versus Nevada, that's further from Georgia, and that means they got to bring it further, so it's better to buy it from Nevada sometimes. They calculate all this stuff. Okay, I digress. So we ended up with wireless urinals, because the building, we wanted it to be a green building, that was in, and plus it helps save the environment and stuff like that. Green building means the top roof is all that bright white foam stuff, and it's almost blinding when you get up there, but it reflects heat instead of brings it in, and that's one of the things that we did. And wireless urinals, they have these at ballparks and government buildings and stuff like that. So in order to keep the LEED points up, we went ahead and went with these things. Now, they need waterless urinals. There's no water, but they use this cartridge in there that costs like $80, and every couple of months it needs a new cartridge. So so there comes this problem of who replaces these cartridges and who pays for the cartridges. Look, I'm digressing. So when there's a problem with these, you check with the main department, the main facilities guys, and you put in a work order to have them send out a plumber to fix the waterless urinals. Or better yet, you call and you talk to the gals at the front desk. Happen to usually be females working at the front desk. There was always this, I'm having a problem with the. I'm not going to be bashful here. We're having a problem with the urinals. There was this thing you went over, like, is it comfortable to talk to women about urinals and to talk to women about tampons? And it's part of what needs to happen in the building. So yes, it absolutely was important, something I should be dealing with. So here's what happens. I got this string of emails to go through. The way this whole thing folded out is kind of nuts. So I'm in my office one day doing whatever I'm doing work-wise, and I get a call from a gal who's she's like in charge of human resources in the school I'm in, and she's also highly a bigwig with the staff assembly. And that's what they call staff assembly, something that we formed back in like 1990 or somewhere around there. It was a group where the staff could get together and kind of push back if the campus was doing something bad to us or whatever. So the staff assembly, and then they started like giving out grants and paying people's tuition and stuff if they were furthering their career. And it's a neat thing, and it kind of grew over the years. And now it's real. Everyone just kind of assumes they're part of it, and that there's this group that's thinking on their behalf on campus. So I get a call from the president of the staff assembly, and who happens to be someone in my building who's also like number 3 or 4 bigwig in my school itself. And she says, Jim, I got a call from someone who's kind of uncomfortable about this, but they wanted to ask if you can have the vending machine filled in the 6th floor bathroom. There's no women's room. There's no feminine hygiene products. And so that started this whole thing. Was a call. Someone made a call. A woman on the building made a call to the HR person, saying to the HR person, there's the problem. When people type things in, I get distracted. There's no Russian in this story. No, I screw it up really badly. So now we need these. So the thing needs to be filled, and I go and check out. And I've noticed that these things don't get filled very often. I've been in charge of buildings at this point for like 20 years on campus. I've been in charge of buildings in several different schools on campus. So I knew everybody. I kind of knew how things worked. And I know what works and what doesn't. And going into the building, I was there from the first day of my work in this building was when I was working with the architects at the beginning, before there was even the old buildings were torn down. Went through, designed the building, tore down the buildings, put up a new one, yada yada. It all went fine. All along the way, we're talking about this green and keeping everything green and less energy, and that's where these waterless urinals came from. So even when we were doing the building, I knew these waterless urinals. As soon as they said they wanted to put them in the meetings before the building was built, I'm like, I go and do my research, and I find out these cartridges that these things use are like $60, $80 a piece. And one thing I know, I've learned over the years that these things in these campus buildings, the things that are consumables in the buildings, that like toilet paper and paper towels and tampons and whatever the consumables in the bathrooms, the campus has to pay for those. But if from the school I want to have something done in the bathroom that isn't routine, that is kind of off from anything that's routine, then I have to pay for that when they come out. So you learn to think like this when you're dealing in the university environment, like, okay, who's this for and who's going to pay for it? Okay, so I'm like at the construction meetings. I'm like, wait a second, you're going to put in wireless urinals? Look, here's some information about the maintenance on these things. You guys know anything about that? No, they hadn't thought about that because architects and people who make decisions, if they don't have a guy like me in the room, they make decisions without realizing that it's going to cost that 3 urinals in each bathroom on 6 floors is 18 urinals that are going to need these things, and they're going to need these $60 cartridges. So what do? I say, okay, put it in as an original design on the building. That way, I know the campus has to support them forever, right? So if the campus wants to push these things, fine. But it's the campus who's saying they need to be in there. This is really fine detail stuff that you learn after decades. That if you don't say the right thing the right way, it costs you a lot of money. So fast forward, I get the call from the HR/staff assembly person. Hey, can you get those machines filled in the building, please? I got a complaint about the 6th floor, and I know that the 4th floor was running out, or something like that. So great, I go ahead and I because you get better, quicker service calling rather than asking for a service order this way. I make a quick call and ask if they can't have someone fill the machines. I'm looking back at the email trail to make sure I got the right one here because they're pretty awesome. So actually what I do is I call my assistant. Said, hey, can you ask them to fill the machines? And that was it. And I moved on to something else. Or maybe I sent him a text, whatever it was. I sent him a quick thing, and it was going to be taken care of. Then he, the next day, he says, there's something weird going on. They said they don't fill the machines. I was like, well, what does that mean? They don't refill those machines. Well, yeah, as of like a week ago, they don't refill the machines. What about, what's this mean? I'm like, what? I go, hey, why don't you send in a written work order, and have them take a look at that, and we'll move on from there. Welcome, President Trump MAGA. So we'll move on from there, and this gets weird. So my assistant sends him a message, and then here's the first message we get back. The first message we get back is from it's the guy who, there's like the custodial staff, and then there's the supervisors in custodial, and then there's these people in between, the managers that handle different things. And then underneath them is like a superintendent or a supervisor of the paint shop or of the electric shop, right? So each shop has like its own supervisor type person. So in this case, I'm going into the custodial shop because I'm looking for someone to fill the napkins and tampons in the machines. Doesn't seem like a big deal. So we go, so he sends in a quick thing. Here's the response we get. I'm doing great, but I'm on a roll on a story. So here's the response I get that Jason gets from the guy over in facilities. Hi, I received a work order to restock the feminine products on the 6th floor women's restrooms. It is my understanding that we have only been restocking 1st and 2nd floors of the buildings in the past 5 years. And he goes on to, and so I'm like, wait, that's not true, because they've always been filling them. They just stopped filling them. That's why people are complaining, because they stopped filling them. So they say that, so basically they'll only put them in the 1st floor or 2nd floor of the building. That's it, 1st floor or 2nd floor of the building. What is this wait a moment thing? Okay, I'll wait a moment. Sure, why not? What's your question? President Trump MAGA. When I see your question come up, I'll wait a minute. So I get this, so that's kind of weird, like, oh no, we haven't filled those in 6 years. Tell me what your question is. I can answer a question. I'll try to answer a question if you tell me what the question is, President Trump MAGA. Okay, just go ahead and give the question out there. Ta-da! So we're back to here again. So he says we never stocked anything but the 1st and 2nd, but the 1st floor is what they started with. Then it went to the 1st and the 2nd floor. No, I'm sorry. I tried to give you a moment, President Trump MAGA. So we get this. So that's kind of weird, but it's kind of no. You can start the thing over again though. You can go to the beginning of this. You can go out and then find it and start it again from the beginning, and you'll get caught up. That's how it works well. I'm not very far into the story. So here's the deal. Okay, so that's weird. Like they only fill the first floor. That's kind of weird because I've been managing these buildings all over campus for decades, and they fill these things. So we can talk more about the product in a bit, because before we even get to the product, no, they're actually Kotex brand product, because that's what I asked for, and I don't know where they're made. But okay, I didn't ever get them, by the way. So that's the end of the story. But let's keep on going. So they only in a 6-story building in the university. The campus has about a 50% women and 50% men, just like everywhere else. I mean, it's somewhere around that. So half women and half men. The men's rooms have, certain needs, which are basically these waterless urinals need these cartridges. And I duped the campus into having to pay for these cartridges because I made them put them in the specs for the building. And now it was their responsibility to fill these cartridges. We're going back to the same thing with the napkins and the feminine products, because this is what it is that's crazy. Is that you just get a story that we never filled those. Instead of whatever the truth is, we ran out of napkins. We don't have a budget to pay for those anymore. We don't have the manpower to distribute those anymore. Just last week, we decided here in facilities, we decided that we were going to stop filling them. Any of those would have been stories that I would have believed, right? I keep telling you, if you want to ask a question, ask a question. Otherwise, stop asking me if you can ask a question, because you're making me crazy. And I'm going to stop looking at this, and I'll miss other people's stuff too. Hi, Emma. So this is where I'm at now. I've got the woman who's in charge of the campus, of the staff assembly on campus. She's also the HR person, the top HR person in the school, who's reporting to me that these machines have run out and they need to be refilled. Now, the next question that randomly comes to mind, I talked about the urinals and those inserts, because the same thing happens with tampons and with the condom machines. Is that if I tell them what kind of tampon machine to put into the building, then I have to buy the tampons forever from then on, which really isn't a big deal, and that's what I should have done in the long run. Instead, I let the campus put in the machines that was their standard that they use all over campus. They're a Bobrick machine, and they're just well known for being crappy and for not you guys are. Because of medications, my throat gets dry and I have to stop and drink. So, the feminine needs are they need these tampons and the other stuff in these machines. And the thing about these machines that they made us put in, which are the Bobrick. Now, Bobrick is the name brand. If you go into Arby's or McDonald's or whatever, you go into the bathroom, all those metal fittings are made by Bobrick. Well-known brand. So it felt safe to allow them to put in their Bobrick machines into my building on all 6 floors. Now, I knew that there were problems with these machines. Bobrick, B-O-B-R-I-C-K, Bobrick. It's a real standard commercial brand. Yes, it's an American brand. Oh yeah, we use American. There's no question about it. The universities use American wherever they can. They keep energy down, etc. Okay, now this story is about tampons, so I'm going to get back to that again. Because it's just the lack of forethought and the way that people cover things up instead of just saying the truth. it just comes to my mind so often when I think about this administration and the government and everything. And this story kind of adds it up. Hey Xavier, welcome first dayer. So now I've got this thing where, okay, so what do? The guy that's in charge of filling the machines has always told the people to fill the machines, is not telling the people to fill the machines anymore, but he's telling me that they've never filled the machines. So I'm just talking about facts that affect me in real life. So fill the machine. So great. I was going to have them fill the machines. Fast forward, and all of a sudden, 7 years later, I think it was, they stopped filling the machines. So now I'm in this jam. How do I get the machines filled? So we get this message back from them saying that we haven't changed things. We never fill those machines except on the first and second floor. So the response from my worker was, that's kind of strange. Why only floors 1 and 2? I'm pretty sure I'd have heard something from my floor 3 to 6 occupants in the last 5 years if they were running out of feminine products. Now he's only worked for me for 5 years at this point, so but the problem is like 7 years old. He says in the 6th floor, the ladies' room tampons are out. Can you please just replace them? The product dispenser, like all of them on campus, is the original part of our building and should be regularly restocked as we are a 19,900 state-funded building. That's university talk for what I just said. Hey, we put in your crappy machines. You got to come fill them. Now, let me tell you something else about these machines. They cost $0.25. You put $0.25 in, and you turn the handle, and you didn't know if you were going to get something or not, because there is no part of this machine that says it's out of product. It will keep taking quarters until the cows come home, even if it's empty. It takes quarters. So now we've got ladies going in the restroom expecting to put their quarter in and turn the knob and get a product they need, and instead the machine takes their quarters and doesn't say anything. So that's the problem. That's the real problem. Is I was having people that were upset, and I understood this 100%. I tried to get them to put in machines that had a little flag on them, out of product, empty. Those machines actually are free if you buy the product from the suppliers. They'll give you the machines for free that work well. They don't put in these Bobrick machines because the Bobrick machines don't work well. Everybody knows it, but most of the Bobrick product is really good, and so that's what gets spec'd out. So what we're doing is asking if they can replace the tampons. I'm going to go to the next response. Next response is from the superintendent. This is the guy right under the associate vice chancellor that's in charge of the whole maintenance thing. These are just words that around campus mean something. They're just, managers. So I get this message back from the superintendent guy, and he starts going through this whole talking about the language and the custodial contract that was in place in 2002 and the 2007 contract period, and that the machine costs, and he starts telling about how much it costs to install machines, and he talks about how much it costs to install. Well, they're already installed. I had them installed with the building. That's all. This is just all words, and there's like 3 paragraphs of it. Here's the second paragraph. I checked with Aaron, he says. I'm not supposed to be using names. I checked with A. He says we're buying 1 case of tampons and 1 case of napkins every month for the entire campus. Got that? This is a university campus that has about 30,000 students in any quarter. This is a building that has all the first floor rooms are general assignment classrooms. There's a classroom that holds 250 people. There's a classroom that holds 120. There's 2 different classrooms that hold 125 people. And there are 2 classrooms that hold like 70 people. And all these classrooms are general assignment, people coming and going every 50 minutes, every hour when the next set of classes comes. People coming and going, many using the restroom. Half of them are women. They want to use the restroom. That's the reason why they put them on the first floor for sure. And they did try to keep the first floor stocked after this whole thing was done. But that was their rationale. But they didn't think there's 5 other floors of a building where half the staff and half the faculty and half the students are women. So that's that it's just weird how they go about things. So now they're telling me that the whole campus, that is the School of Physical Sciences, Social Sciences, Humanities, Arts, Social Ecology, the Graduate School of Management. There's all these different things on the campus, and the whole campus uses 1 case of tampons and 1 case of pads every month for the whole campus. He checked with the woman superintendent, who used to be in charge of this area, and she can't remember the last time they ever had to repair a machine when they didn't find just only $30 in the machine. Something like she goes to the machines, there's only $30 in it. Why she's in the machine, I don't know. She's a 2-person up superintendent. This is the people that know the machines are the custodians who work in the buildings, and I know them, and they know me. So now they're saying that because they only got $30 for the quarters out of a broken machine when they went to fix it, that it was worthless anyways because the whole campus only uses 1 thing of pads. Now that was bizarre. Oh, and then they went on to tell me that there were signs on all of the machines that said, "We do not stock this floor. We only stock this product on the first floor of the building." Now that was my building. I put it up there. I've worked in it for 7 years at this point. And they're telling me that there's signs on the machines. There's no signs on the machines. I know. There's no signs on the machines. So Amy tells Rob, God, I'm using real names. Ugh. So the gal tells the guy that they that's not worth doing anyways, and that these signs are there and that I'm crazy. So I go and take photos of the machines and I send them. The machines don't have signs on them. Then I make up some signs that say like, the management, the campus central facilities says that you have to go to the first floor if you need this product. This seems really inconvenient to me. It seems really rude to ask someone who needs that product to go from the 6th floor down to the 1st floor where there's students coming and going between classes and God knows who in there. And that's the only place and they still have to go down there to use that product. Isn't that weird? Get in the elevator, take the stairs, whatever. That just doesn't sound right. I don't know a lot about this, but I know enough to know that when people want something from one of these machines, they need it. And when they put a quarter in it doesn't work, and there's no sign that says anything, that's really bad for lots of reasons. Mentally, psychologically, physically, everything. It's just not good. So this is the campus official, campus answer is, in the last year, we spent $1,200 on product. So that's, I guess, a case a month or something. Now, at the time, I owned some vending machines. And they weren't this kind of vending machines, but I would have been glad to buy these and install them, some machines that worked if I could fill them, because that's where the money is. Yes, basically, there should be tampons in all of the ladies' rooms, in the machines that we built into the building. I got one floor who just puts a basket there. I gave her a handful of them, and people take and put what they need out of this little basket on the countertop because the machine still doesn't work. 11 years later now. So there's this grander question about tampons that's going on right now. There's a university somewhere in New Zealand, I think, that's supplying all the products, all the feminine products, like they put out condoms. There's a jail in Texas that's not letting people get or buy the products, and then they're getting their pants soiled, and they're docking them for having soiled pants too. Yes, there's pushback all the way. This is the whole story is pushback. The whole story is me just saying, can't you just come put some stuff in this machine? But I sent the message I shot off to the user group of vending machine users. Now I had soda machines and bubblegum machines. But I sent it off to the group that was the soda machine vendors. And I just ask, is there a formula that we can use whereby we know how many cases of product we should be supplying to the female, the females on this 30,000 person campus? And of course, the people that I was asking on my campus that I have to depend on to do anything, that are lying to me about it, are saying no, there's no way this can be done. So okay, that's great. Send a quick text message. I can probably, if I look back and saw the actual messages, there's only like half an hour between some of these messages. So I flipped out this message and I got a response back. He says, you should be going through a ton, but they have to be name brand. Tampax or OB. You're probably referring to the Bobrick machines. He knows what machines I'm talking about, even though I didn't say they were Bobrick machines. You're probably referring to the Bobrick machines, which are complete junk and do not drive sales. They don't have the capacity to allow you to make this profitable. Look at protocol vending machines. They're worth every penny you pay, and you'll be able to vend other items that will drive sales. This is what I expected would happen when I asked, well, what are our options here? I'm going to just cut away to answer that question about the school council. Yes, it's called the staff assembly, and with the president of the staff assembly who originally asked me to fill the machines, which kind of brings everything back to the same place. Everything's all tied together. Okay, so I asked, how do we calculate need? He said it's easy. It's easy, and so his message starts there. He goes on to give me some more stats, but the bottom line is 1 case of this product per campus per year is insane. So I started asking the other camp. They started telling me that it's like this all over campus. I'm the only person complaining. So I call all my cohorts on campus that are at the same level and the same job classification. I happen to have been the chair of this group for 6 or 8 years. So I call all of my peers all over the campus and ask them for their feedback on how their machines have been, And of course, it's not true. They're in most of the buildings, and there aren't signs on any machines in any of the buildings. So, the more you try to fix a problem, the more you run into this, like, how many bullshit stories are you gonna throw at me before you tell me to just go fish, right? So all of a sudden, in one of these meetings, we go to the meetings of my peers, and we all go in and we're talking about this with the facilities people, all in the same group, so we can talk about it in the same room. I call out the gal who's the superintendent that's saying that they only use a case a month, and I'm like, there's something going on here, because we should be even making money on it, let alone not running out of product and what have you. Her response was really amazing, and I just realized that I don't have the actual document. It was in an email, and it's somewhere I can't find it. But the document that we go into this meeting, and they hand out this document, and it's a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 white paper, that has been photocopied from another piece of paper that looked like it had been all crunkled up, and it looked like a photocopy of like a really old piece of paper, policy-wise, right? So it's like made, like some funky font that looks like an old typewriter, and then they crumpled it up and they put it on a photocopier and made a photocopy. So it looked like, oh yeah, here's a copy of an old policy that we've been talking about for 2 years now, and here, we're going to hand this out now. It's complete bull. This is a document they doctored to make it look like this was the policy. And the document says, God, I wish I could find it to read it to you, but basically it says, after consulting with all of the facilities managers in most of the buildings, we determined that we're going to only fill the first floor as per the agreement. Now, that was weird because I was the chair of the group, right? Actually, I just stepped down as chair and put this other guy was the chair. We're all buddies, right? So I sent a quick message to the chair and go, hey, dude, did you answer any questions? You're the chair. They probably would have started with you. Did they ask you about the things? Where did this document come from that shows that there is a decision that we all made to stop carrying them? So the email I sent him Yeah, I sent him an email. Like I said, what the hell? Did I miss this? He says, good morning. Up till yesterday, there's never been any discussion regarding feminine product dispensers in a meeting that I recall. Thus, there hasn't been a committee or subcommittee that members of the BFMI have participated in. That's him clearly saying that nobody knows anything about this. He goes on, yesterday, Amy presented their plan regarding feminine hygiene product dispensers on campus. She stated that facilities was going to support the dispensers in the first floor restrooms and remove all of the dispensers from the other floors. The upper floor dispensers would be replaced with a sticker directing women to the first floor restrooms. She had the stickers with her, but did not pass them around. In this meeting of me and my peers, like, oh, what? Yes, exactly. I can't tell you how many times I said that to myself during the day at the university. So they're going to put in stickers, right? He goes on to say, she did mention that the products were expensive and gave some of the rationale as to why they were doing this. I believe this is all in the handout they gave us. And he goes on to say, as for the first line in the handout, quote, facilities management, with input from building managers, made the decision to only stock feminine hygiene products on the first ... We never gave any input that I'm aware of, nor do I remember this ever being a topic of discussion. Do what you need to do. Let us know if there's anything we can do. So here, I got confirmation from the guy who, after I got my message, called around to make sure he was talking to everyone. Nope. They handed out this funky document that looked like a 10-year-old thing that had been mimeographed even from like grade school. And then in it they say she's got stickers that she was going to put up on the walls. The thing is that there's still machines in the walls, and they're all empty, and they're all full of quarters, right? And they don't have anything in them, but they're not going to fill them because tampons cost too much. I'm like, what? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. You put them in the machine. You buy them and you put them in the machine. And if you do it the right way, you might even pay for them and some of the labor to come replace them and stuff. No, that's not how it works. That works. Going straight to the email again, because there's some neat little side stories going on in these things. Here's a story. Oh, when I reached out to who am I reaching out to this time? The superintendent of facilities again. Okay. After being lied to by A and R again, this is me. I've reached out to people who are honest communicators, like R used to be, and learned this is something facilities has talked about in the past internally, and they kind of decided it might be a good idea somewhere along the way, mostly because they weren't making a profit and didn't like paying to fix vandalized machines. It was never brought to our group meeting, at least not since 1999 or so, when I was the chairperson back then, too. The truth is, the tampons ran out, and they made up this crazy story to save face, rather than just put stuff in the machines again. And this is the only unit crazy enough to make up stories that do the work, and I'm amazed everyone on campus looks the other way. I'm actually sending this to now I know who this is to. This is to the second in command below the Associate Vice Chancellor in charge of the whole university facilities for the entire campus and all of its facilities. And then I mentioned that I polled the professional vending colleagues. So that was weird because the campus comes up with this weird memo that talks about meetings that didn't happen. And that's what I'm, bathroom 2.0, you're right. And that's what I'm talking about. Because when I complained, or I just asked for a product, and this all happens over like a month, and they still haven't filled the product, and they still haven't. Now, I don't have a key to get in the machines either. So I'm like, why don't you just give me a key and give me some of the product, or I'll go out and buy the product if I have to. Just give me a damn key so I can open the machine and put product in it. Okay, I start. That's where I got after about a month of going around in circles. So then I'm like, and if you have some product, so then they send this woman over who I got along with fine, who was a no BS worker, and she goes, here's the This is like a week after that. All the product we have. And it was a box about yay big, maybe 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. And it had like half full of tampons and half full of napkins. And that's it. That's the entire campus's supply of feminine products. And she leaves it with me, and she says, okay, well, I have to get you the key. They're rekeying it now. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. They're changing all the locks in all the dispensers on this building so that you have a key that works. And I'm like, wait, so what? It won't work in other... So I won't go around and, like, what, put stuff in other people's buildings or what, right? No, the custodians have them for every lock in the building, but now the custodians aren't going to use them anymore. They're not going to have keys that work anymore. And now the key that they're making for me that they're rekeying the lock for is the only key that works. And they gave me, 9 things to put in 6 machines on 6 floors. And this just doesn't make sense. This just doesn't. So like a week later, they come up with the key and they send me the key. Now, for coming in and handing me those products and being like not playing the game, the bullshit game they were playing over on the other side of campus, she got demoted. I mean, not really demoted, but moved into a shitty job because she did the right thing. Okay, that happened along the way. By the way, they still haven't filled the machines. I mean, that's the long short of it. So there were a bunch of people on the second floor, women on the second floor, and their machine also was always empty. And that's the floor that they fixed it eventually by putting a basket on the counter, and my significant other runs that department, so she put a basket on the counter and put some product in it and just kept filling it when people needed it because that's, that works. And over time, people started putting their own in there, and so now there's, a little grab bag there. That's great. It works for the people on the second floor. Is that what the half of the people in the building should go through? Now, that's the second floor. That's only one floor up from the first floor. So if they fill the first floor, at least you only have to go one floor when you don't have the product you need if you're a woman who needs this product, right? Same thing on the sixth floor, though. So she's been, my SO has been all over the case ever since I've been gone for 5 years now. She's been all over the case the whole 5 years. And just a couple of months ago, they caved in and they came and they brought a machine. Oh, wait. Back up. 6 months ago, they came and they ripped out the machine on her floor, the Bobrick one. You can follow me. I'm not sure how to do it. I think you just, I don't know. I'm not sure, but people do it. Where was I? I was at I was getting to the important stuff. Remind me. No, it's okay. This happens to me all the time. I'm talking about the tampons, right? So now they don't want to fill the machines. Now they give me a key, and I don't. So I got the product for 2 weeks that I can't get into the machines. Then I got a key they gave me that only works my machines. But now the campus isn't going to fix the machine. Isn't going to fill the machines anymore. So why can't I put it in my own machine? That will not break. That will hold normal products. I'll even buy the machines. I'll buy the machines out of my budget. I'll put them in there, and I'll buy the product and fill it. No, and if I had just gone ahead and done that, the campus, there would have been, all kinds of crap storms all over the place. You just don't do that. But what they did was on the second floor where they were shamed into having to finally do something, they said they were going to replace the machine, and they took it out. And about 4 months later, there was still a hole in the wall with the tile up to the point where the hole in the wall was that used to have a big dispenser in it. Months later, she's like going in there and taking photos of the thing, going, this is what it looks like. And you know what it looked like? I can't find the photo. I so wish I could find the photo. They finally came and they put it in a new machine, and it was about this big. The old hole was like this big, and they wedged it in with pieces of 2x4. So imagine the device is this big and the hole is this big, and now they put 2x4s just wedged in around the edges with the old broken tile around it and stuff. And that's what they gave her. And they still haven't filled it, by the way. That was like, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And even when they put the new machine in that is smaller, that doesn't fit in the hole, they put in another machine that they aren't filling. And it's another Bob Rook machine. Had I still been running the building, that would have never happened. But, you know, that's part of the joy of retiring. Is that the end of the story? Kind of. The whole. It gets down to, even at the university, people talk about, you know, you hear people on the right or whatever talk about, I'm nonpartisan, by the way, I'm not a member of either political party. But this is reminding me, I'm reminded of these kind of stories quite frequently now, due to what is happening in the government on the political side of things. And I see, you know, congressmen saying things that are just blatantly the opposite of fact and truth. And it reminds me of these stories, of my stories from the university. And I got some doozies. This one seemed kind of important because it really affects half the people on campus, and it's all that this government is doing what the campus has been doing for decades to women, and that is, you know, minimizing you, making you feel you know, less important, or, you know, what kind of, I just don't get it. How does a campus say we're not going to fill the machines and we're not going to replace the machines, and everyone can go to the first floor, and well, you know, but that's just, so that's an example of how the university works on things. Still, they still haven't resolved it. What they want to happen is me to leave and the guy that worked for me to leave, will retire, and then it'll disappear with the institutional memory because the other people I was talking about at the time, whose email was sent back to work, they've all retired. We got out of it. The university is becoming a pretty awful place to work from, you know, a human standpoint. Raleigh, would I be willing to write that all out? I don't know. What for? When I write, my fingers don't, I mean, they go pretty fast, but they don't go as fast as my brain. You can hear me talking, and I'm not like reading talking points or anything. My brain goes like twice as fast as my mouth can. And when I go to try to write it, oh, thank you. An amazing essay. What do you do? What would I do with an essay? I don't know. I haven't been on campus for 5 years. I guess posted it on site somewhere. I'm serious. What I do is I come here. I was on the radio when I was a kid. I was a DJ, and I'm comfortable with talking and nobody answering back. Thank you. It is a voice. A voice. You know, I should have said this 50 times already. If you haven't registered to vote in California, it's too late now. If you have, go vote. And find someone right now today that you tell each other you're going to vote together, and you promise each other you're going to vote together, because that really increases your turnout. And that's all we can do right now. The only voice we have to turn any of the stuff that the government's happening right now is by voting. So there's my political thing on the end there. Twitter essay. Oh, so like a bunch of Twitter things, like a thread on Twitter. Is that what? Yeah. This is an issue that this is the first thing I've done on this issue. I've been doing only like political stuff because it makes me crazy, and I wanted to get away from it and clear my brain with something that is kind of connected, because I'm seeing the same kinds of just kind of bullshit backspeak coming from everybody in the Republican Party right now that I saw coming from a unit on campus that didn't want to be, that to them it was more important to save face than to actually service the customer and what have you. And the institutionality of that is pretty heavy. And I'll do one of these about the custodial crew. Oh, I see. Oh, like on Daily Cost or something, maybe. I read stuff there sometimes. I don't know. Thank you for the comments that you know, makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time because somebody's paying attention. If just one person, you know, votes or looks at their local school board in a different way and votes people into their local school boards. This kind of stuff's happening on campuses, on schools. Wherever you are right now, there's a local school board, and those people are making decisions that really affect everything about your kids. So get rid of the crappy ones. Look at your ballot this time. Pay real close attention and figure out who the people are. what they do. Don't listen to what they say, because these people are lying. Just like I explained about this tampon thing on campus. It's the lies, the why. Why even lie about it? Why not just tell the truth? This could have saved a lot of BS, a lot of time, a lot of effort. If at the beginning you would have said, tampons are too expensive, so we're not going to fill the machines anymore. If you want to see the whole long story, go back to the beginning of this scope, and you'll see what it took to get to that point. Okay. Hey, cool, thanks. I'm flattered. And you can follow me, and I do post stuff. I don't do it as regularly as I should. I'm trying to figure out a good time slot, but every time I do, something else crazy happens, and I have to start writing or thinking about it. This is my outlet on the radio. Because right now I'm also, I don't know if I am, I think I'm also broadcasting right now on, I don't know, like YouTube and Twitch or something. I have the same screen name on Twitter, Prius James. And Twitter feed has mostly been the same kind of political stuff, but I'm going to branch off of my Twitter feed too to cover this kind of stuff. This just seems really important. It's real. It's something that people can wrap their heads around, that happened locally, that I've lived through, that that maybe tells a story, a bigger story. So yeah, I'm Prius James on Twitter, and Prius James, the same as my username here, I think. Maybe not Prius James. Like the Toyota Prius and my name. So yeah, that's me on Twitter, and like I say, if you look at my timeline, you'll see a lot of political stuff, and that's because that's where I've been focused lately. But this university stuff is what I'm starting on now. If you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, you'll see that the screen that I have up. Oh, it looks like this screen turned static. Says Gaslight Today, UC rules, tampons. That's this series is the University of California rules. Not that UC rules, but UC rules, and weird things that everybody goes through on the campus that sometimes we know why and sometimes we don't. Hey, thanks for watching and checking it out. And if you're checking it out later, then live, thanks for doing that too. Follow me, and like I said, I'm Prius James on everything. And I'm going to do, the next scope I'm going to do, I think is going to be on, because this is another thing that's really been in my brain a lot, is, I got sidetracked and forgot what it was about. No, corporations. Thank you. About corporations, corporate greed and politics. Corporations, that's where the real problem lays. And it's so wide scope and broad that if I start talking about it, I sound like a conspiracy theorist, and it's really hard not to do that. But the stuff is true, provable facts. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna figure out how to turn this thing off. That's another one of my things. Oh, I'm pretty good at that. Have a great day, and we'll see you around next time. And we can stop this one too.